Alright, so the video we're going to be reacting to today, why college is a scam. Now before I start this video, I want to give you my take on it. And it's a little bit agreeing and it's a little bit disagreeing. I think college is a good place to go if you want to learn how to be specialized. If you want to specialize yourself in a certain field and you are a different kind of learner, you don't want to just do it for, you don't want to just read books, you want to have someone teach it to you, or you want to get a degree for it, then you should go to college. But if you want to strictly make money, then going to college is not the most efficient path because it can set you back by years and by lots of money. But you can still learn skills there. So it's not a complete waste of time, but you have to know what you're aiming for. If you don't know what you're aiming for, college is not for you, no matter how smart you are. Alright, so let's begin the video.
Do you want to spend over $100,000 putting yourself in 20 years of debt to learn useless information for 4 years just to end up working at McDonald's? Well, I got just the place for you. College. 39% of people who attend college eventually drop out. And for those who do graduate, 1 in 4 regret the decision of going to college. That means over half of all people who've attended college found it a waste of time or money. It's the biggest scam in modern history. The evidence is so incredibly clear, yet we still choose to pour trillions of dollars into this destructive, predatory industry. If you're planning on going to college, this video might change your mind.
I kind of already agree with this video because I know where it's going to go. So my opinion is not really going to change. But I do want to say is that most people who do go to college, they don't know what they want to do. And they end up wasting a lot of time and a lot of money. Even if it's granted money, it's still a lot of time being wasted. Even if it's a 2 years college, like Full Sail, that's 2 years of your life. 2 years of your life you could have done something like perfected a skill that makes you a lot of money, or you could have started a YouTube channel. Like for instance, this channel is about 1 year olds, or a little bit younger than 1 year olds, and as far as like me making videos wise, but right now we're sitting at almost 2.3k, and the thing is that number is not linear, right? It kind of grows logistically, but it's like a fish getting out of water, and each wave gets bigger. So by spending time investing into this channel, by the time where, I have to, when the pressure's on, I'll already have a substantial fan base on it because I put my time to this instead of going to a university.
College degree used to guarantee success and finding good jobs. Not so much anymore. Over half of college graduates are unable to find a job within 1 year of graduation. Even Harvard graduates with master degrees are struggling to find a job. There's actually been a massive trend of college students graduating, then resorting to fast food jobs. Underemployment means working low-skilled jobs and earning very low wages. For people who've graduated college...
Well, pretty soon there won't be jobs in McDonald's anymore because it's all being replaced by kiosks, and it's also being replaced by literal machines that make the food for you. So the only people that will be there, which probably for a short time, are the people that are just bringing the food. But then robots will eventually be doing that because we've already seen what they can do. And they don't have to move like humans. They could just pick up the food and then turn and then bring it over to the counter. Pretty simple actually. Or they could even make a conveyor belt system which completely eliminates the need for that entirely.
This year, the underemployment rate is 41.2%. So if you graduate with a degree, there's a very high chance that you'll be working at McDonald's. Now, this would all be excusable if college was an easily accessible form of education. That is, unfortunately, not the case. The average annual cost of attending public university is $30,000, so we're looking at over $120,000 to go to college. For private universities, the cost can be up to $90,000 a year, which means $360,000 for
if you make it.
College. And those who can't graduate in 4 years will have to spend even more than that. Compare that to subscribing to the Dumanity YouTube channel, which is free. $120,000 is a lot of money. People fresh out of high school don't understand that kind of money yet, making them easy targets of money.
They don't teach you about money in high school. They don't teach you about taxes. They don't teach you about they don't really teach you that much about personal finances. In my state, it's a legal requirement that we have a class on it, but it doesn't teach you that much. And the teacher I had for it wasn't really teaching it much. But schools don't teach you how to manage your money. They don't teach you how to be smart with your money. And in turn, it makes you very vulnerable to credit card companies.
Manipulation. With that kind of money, you can invest in a rental property, invest in ETFs. In some states, you can even buy a small house with that money. But instead, people choose to invest that money into 4 years of classes and a piece of paper, sinking them into unescapable debt. The average student borrower takes 20 years to pay off their student loan debt. 3.6 million students now owe over $100,000.
The problem is people go into college with the intention of making money, whereas I'm gonna like this video, by the way, it's really good. But the problem is going to college is not supposed to make you money. It's supposed to teach you things, but it doesn't teach you how to make money. And if you go to an economics course or become like a stockbroker out of it, I'm not sure if college teaches that. Let me search that up for a second. Wow, okay, so it doesn't even teach stockbroking. It quote unquote teaches theoretical foundation, analyticals. So it's just a bunch of BS, right? College, they give you a bunch of books that you have to read, and you have to show up to like classes because they can't just give you all the books, right? Or just say read all these books and then pass the exam for like less than $1,000. But no, you have to go to the classroom itself to learn about a bunch of politics they didn't want. One thing I do notice about, I'm gonna take these headphones off. One thing that I notice so much about these college-oriented teachers and college professors, even back in high school when I had these college teachers, they were just shoving their politics in my face. If you wonder why I'm so passionate about people not enforcing their opinions on other people's, it's because of this. Well, along with other things, but it's because of this. I'm tired of someone who's supposed to teach me about geography and places in the world and a couple of BS variables that don't make a difference at all, trying to force their opinions, force their political views down my throats. And when I try and debate them, they just shut me down before I even get a chance to explain myself. I detest these people. I detest them. And I do not want to go to a place where I am forced to go through this all over again. But instead of just one teacher, it's almost every single teacher. I hate it with a passion. Not the people, but just the whole forcing down your throats. That's what creates these so-called protesters. It is. And they think they're doing something. I don't care what side they are on. But they do useless things. Because they went to these stupid courses in college. They're in so much debt. They wasted so much time and they're using so much governmental money. It's crazy. And because of college, because of this horrible place that has tricked people into them thinking that they can become rich off of this, when most of the middle class went to college, they're not rich at all. Look at this. 3.6 million times 100,000. Let's do the math here. So 3.6 times 100 is 360 million. Times 1,000. That's $360 billion. of debt because of student loans. If you can comprehend how much money that is, one country, I know it's the United States, one country, man, one country, we only go into the trillions and the hundreds of billions when we're talking about military things or humongous trade deals with other countries. This is a domestic debt issue because people think they're going to get rich and therefore they take on this humongous risk without taking any calculations whatsoever. Man, my mind is just, it's boggled by these numbers.
Loan debt. As of September 2025, student loan debt has totaled to $1.81 trillion. Let me get that straight. $1.81 trillion. That's
Oh, I guess I was wrong. It was about 5 times that.
That's enough money to build 1,113 Burj Khalifas. But instead, that money was spent by college students pursuing a piece of paper. But it gets even worse. People are spending billions of dollars to go to college, so you'd hope that money is being spent towards their education, right? Well, unfortunately, the cost of a college tuition has nothing to do with the education that you receive. That's right, you're not paying for jack. A tuition at Princeton, MIT, or Harvard all cost around the $60,000 range. Hundreds of low-ranked colleges also cost around $60,000. If these colleges are significantly worse than the Ivy League ones, then why do they charge the same amount of money? And anything you buy, the low-quality stuff is always cheaper. But college tuitions are an exception to this rule. Why is that? Well, it's because colleges don't charge you for the education. Their prices aren't based on how good the education actually.
Well, to be honest, a lot of community colleges are very cheap. So that's kind of an exception. But the multiplicative difference to their tuitions versus the very high-end ones is still not by much. So I agree with this guy.
Colleges are charging you for the college experience. Campus museums and parks and cafeterias, beautiful study areas, rock climbing,
And they don't have to do all that stuff. When I once took an exploration dive at Full Sail. Really cool buildings, by the way. I went inside many of them. They were awesome. And I saw the people that were attending there. Like, they were just there to play around with the fidgets and widgets and all that stuff. They didn't look serious about it. This is a big playroom that other people who truly want to make money, who truly want to really invest in their education, they're just paying for other people to... Man, it just doesn't make sense.
Massive gyms and saunas and gaming lounges and cool-looking dorms. Some universities even have adventure courses and zip lines. Just watch this college commercial and you'll see what I mean.
Somewhere you can hike, slide, strike, shoot, climb, eat.
These features have nothing to do with education. They don't contribute to a student's career whatsoever.
That's a college ad. That's a university ad. Oh my gosh. We're doomed, y'all. Society is doomed. Can't wait for the rapture to happen, man.
But because universities add all this nonsense, it allows them to justify ridiculously high tuition fees. If your university looks fun and exciting, you're much more likely to pay that $60,000.
Where have we gone as a society, man?
Tuition, you're not paying for education. You're paying for the on-campus BS. But that's not all you're paying for. You're also paying for general education classes, which is what you'll spend the majority of your time in college doing. If you're going to college, you'd hope that you'll be spending your time preparing yourself to get a job, right? But no. You're forced to spend the majority of your time learning math, humanities, science, and...
See, this is the thing I don't get. Okay, I understand in high school you learn 7 subjects. Middle school and high school. You learn 7 subjects. You don't really want to learn all 7. Like, maybe you just want to take math or maybe a reading class or just like a couple of electives, but you do have to take all 7. But in college, you have to take more than what you want. You have to you have to take a bunch of social science classes. Well, I mean, to be fair, most of these are electives, right? But this is what makes people go into these really BS classes, like sociology and gender studies. These don't really provide their money's worth. They can easily go on Twitter, X, or Reddit and easily learn and pick up this stuff without having to pay that much money or waste their time or have a professor tell it to them. This just proves how stupid humanity is. Even the smart people don't understand. When I was in high school, I asked some of the smartest students, the ones with the highest aptitudes, highest expectations for their careers. They wanted to get into these colleges, right? But I asked them, what do you want to be? What do you truly, in your heart, what do you truly want to be in desire? What do you truly know? Do you know what you want? They didn't have an answer. They couldn't answer my question. Do you know why they couldn't answer my question? Because they didn't have an answer. They want to go to a place to figure out themselves, even though that place is not built for figuring out yourself. It's about I'd say on the better half of college, it's supposed to foster what you want to be if you want to take certain things that require college. It's not there to make money. If you want to make money first and then study your hobbies next, don't go to college, please. I'm begging you. You who are watching, I care about you. I mean, to be honest, it's still big use of your time. Whether it's a waste or not, it's a big spend on your time. Use your time wisely. You only got so many years.
Language classes, information that's useless to your career. And it's not bad that you're learning these things, but you have to remember, you're paying $120,000 for this. You're putting yourself in 20 years of debt just to learn all this nonsense that's irrelevant to your career. Some people will say that general education classes are important because they make people well-rounded. Well, first of all, nobody needs to be well-rounded to do well in their job. It's a completely irrelevant factor.
The thing is, if you want to be rich, I've read books on this. This is my take from what I've learned. If you want to become rich, you need to choose a skill that you're super passionate about, that you're super into, and just spend a lot of time, grind at it, work on it, craft, chisel at it, engrave it into your brain for many, many days, many, many months, and possibly many, many years. Use that skill, and if that skill can make you a lot of money, build a business on it. Build services on it, and then have people working under you. Of course, I don't know all the details, but it gets a little bit more complicated from there. But the simple thing is, get a good skill that you can be the absolute best at, and just chisel yourself to it. Work as hard as you can, because this hard work has purpose in it. Before you go into college, before you learn a bunch of subjects that will not reinforce your money, chisel at that one skill. And you don't need to go to college for any of this. Just learn a very valuable skill in this world. Probably something that has to do with AI. Maybe something that has to do with content creation. Maybe something that has to do with computer science. But chisel at that skill. Work it, grind it, and then learn how to be an entrepreneur on that. And trust me, just read books. Read books. College, what they do is make you read books. So if you think you're going to get something better out of college, you can read a lot more books in the same span of time. And you can save a lot more money. These books cost probably less than $20. $19.99 at best. You can definitely buy those. Alright? And if you don't know where to get them, find some people who have succeeded. But college is not where you're going to find the super rich people. The people who truly know where you need to start. College is full of people who haven't succeeded at anything this huge. Mediocre people telling you to do mediocre things if you want to be big. And this is why I'm so passionate about this. You don't have to agree with anything I'm saying, by the way. But just please, take it for advice. Even if it's with a real grain of salt.
Second, didn't we already spend the last 12 years in K-12 schools becoming well-rounded? A high school GPA is all the proof you need that you're well-rounded. There's actually been a recent trend of employers shifting their focus away from college degrees. Instead, employers are starting to care more about work experience and productivity.
Exactly. When you get that PhD, no matter even all that extra work you did getting that PhD, because I know it's not just taking the course. You have to also be a TA. You have to do some extra jobs helping the teacher. Once you get that PhD, this ain't over yet. Oh, nah, you got to find some work experience. And you don't know where to find that work experience. To get the job that requires work experience, you need to take another job that also requires work experience. So you need to be lucky to find a job that doesn't require work experience, to work your way up to get that work experience, to find a job that requires work experience, and then eventually find your way into this thing called job security. Which, by the way, isn't real. Take note of that.
If you want to land a great job, it's very important to be productive. And a good way to do that is by getting a very good standing desk, like this one, the FlexiSpot E7.
Oh my gosh, please shut up about your stupid sponsorship. I like this guy's channel, but I'm done with these sponsorships.
College, you might be thinking, how about STEM careers? Like if you want to be a doctor or engineer, you have to go to college, right? Well, kinda. Although certain STEM careers require training that...
Yeah, if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, or something that requires degree-level specialization, you go to college. But you have to really want that. You have to, you say, I do want that. And I'm willing to put my time and effort into it. Don't go into college with uncertainty. Go with absolute certainty that you want to do this. Otherwise, you're wasting it. You're wasting it all.
Available online, like computer science, for example. But also keep in mind that only 18% of college students are there for STEM majors. The rest are there for fields that don't depend on college. By far, the most common category of college degrees falls under liberal arts, general studies, and humanities.
Yeah, kind of what I said before. By the way, this includes gender sciences. Yeah, gender sciences. Something that no job requires, by the way. No job will ever accept a degree as gender studies. Please take note of that. That's not even an opinion, that's a fact. No job in history of mankind ever has, nor ever will, take gender studies. Unless if it's a cult.
AKA the useless ones. We're talking about degrees like gender studies, creative writing,
Yep.
philosophy, theater art. What the
None of these land you a job.
theater arts degree?
And people are taking this for job security. Ain't this an ironic loop?
People are going to college for. And again, it's not a bad thing that people want to learn these things. But when people are spending over $100,000 for this crap, that's a big problem.
It's a huge problem. Because you know why it's a huge problem? Because it's also using up government resources. Yeah, exactly. You and I pay for that.
At the end of the day, colleges are a business. The college industry exists to make money and nothing else. A college tuition is a product that has been marketed to us non-stop. A lazy river on campus? Marketing. A museum built on school campus? A beautiful garden? It's all marketing. And this marketing has been deeply ingrained into our culture. Before we were even born, our parents already had a plan for us. Grow up, go to college. In high school, we're constantly told to go to college.
By the way, keep in mind, about 40 years ago, I'd say the optimum is about 100 years ago or 80 years ago. But let's just say 40 years ago. This was kind of like the dream. You go to a good university, get a great college degree, and you land this thing called job security. And guess what? It still doesn't exist. But go back to 100 years ago, before the information age, back still in the industrial ages, it was a good thing. That was the best thing you could do.
All the adults in our lives tell us to go to college. Most people don't even know why they're going to college, except for the reason that society told them to do so. Those who don't go to college are seen as losers and bums. Why? Because of marketing. 50 years ago, barely anyone went to college. But as marketing for colleges grew, our culture completely transformed, shaping how we view the world. The endless amounts of ads we see for college says it all.
At Cecil College, our students.
This is your future, your opportunity.
Look, I'm not even concerned about the advertisements. I'm concerned with the fact that people who don't know anything about what it takes to become successful, like true upper echelon type success, these people are your lower middle class teachers and your parents. They're telling you what it takes to become successful because of an article they read online. Yeah, that's not going to work out, buddy. I'm here to break the news to you. It's not going to work out. Please take my advice. But, don't just accept it. Test it and then confirm it. And you'll realize what I'm saying is correct.
We stand for excellence, respect.
You want a place to pass the programs you want to study.
It's marketing for a product, no different than commercials for cars and diamond rings. The college system doesn't prioritize education, it prioritizes money.
Sorry, I forgot. Good exception if you want to get into these big sports leagues, like NFL, NBA, NHL. I'm not sure about NHL, but these kind of big game sports leagues, you typically would want to go to college so that way you could become very good at college sports, and college sports is basically the lead up because it's also very watched very often.
Private university tuition has increased by 32%. From 2000 to 2020, college tuition has risen 111% faster than wages have. And it makes sense from a business standpoint. The demand for a college degree has risen drastically in the last 2 decades. So naturally, colleges will start to increase prices. America's outlook on education has been completely by college marketing, and we need to undo this damage. There's 2 very common myths about college that we need to debunk. One,
all right, let's see.
If you're educated, you need to go to college.
And it's a myth. Because college, you know what they say at college? They tell you what you can already do at home. Read books. You know what a professor's going to tell you to do? Read books. Exactly. To be educated, you must read. And you must observe. Just check through books, media, all that you can find to find yourself a very rational opinion about it, and then go at it. You don't need to go to college for that. If it doesn't require a degree, if it's not a humongous necessity, you don't need it.
This might have been true 20 years ago, but now we have this little thing called the internet. We have online courses that cover an entire semester's worth of knowledge for like $20. We have Indian YouTubers explaining complex subjects better than any professor ever will. Look at all these online Harvard and MIT courses that anyone can take. Many of these are free. None of this involves going to college. The second myth, if you don't go to college, you'll make less.
By the way, YouTube has taught me most of what I know. Okay, exceptions, speaking, walking, talking. I already said speaking, but you get the gist of it. Aside from the basics, a lot of the complex knowledge that I know, YouTube taught me like at least 75% of that stuff. I wouldn't have known to make YouTube videos without watching YouTube on how to do it. I wouldn't have known what camera to buy or what computer to get or what to do to become successful if I didn't watch YouTube. So if you're watching this right now and I'm successful, I watch the YouTube videos. Yeah, buddy.
Those with a college degree statistically make more money than those without a college degree. So boom, going to college means earning more money, right? Well, not so fast. People who have a college degree are more likely to be hardworking. People who never went to college are more likely to be lazy. It's for this reason why so many people without a college degree earn so little money. It's not because they don't have a degree, it's because they're lazy. The conclusion to be drawn here is that hardworking people make more money than lazy people, not that a college degree makes more money than no degree. Here's a young man working his ass off in construction. Here's a young man with a degree, gaming in his parents' basement. Which man makes more money? Success?
The thing is, okay, here's my rebuttal to this one. The thing is, I agree with 99% of this entire video. This is the one thing I disagree on, is that could have been Mark Zuckerberg, okay? That could have been him in his parents' basement. That was him right after a long coffee session with his friends and his little buddies setting up servers to build up Facebook. But no, actually, I do agree with this guy, because most people who do this are not Mark Zuckerberg. They're not Elon Musk. They're not Jawed Karim, co-founder of YouTube. Most people are not like those, the PayPal mafia and stuff.
More money. Success is determined by the person, not the college degree.
To become successful, you have to change the core of yourself. And if the core of yourself is right, you'll read the right stuff.
The average salary of an electrician is $67,000.
Ah!
A real estate broker makes $72,000. Airline pilots make $226,000. These people are earning more than those with a bachelor's degree. Only 44% of jobs require a college degree. And there isn't any evidence that these jobs pay more than the jobs that don't require a degree. Our culture needs to realize that just because someone chooses not to go to college, that doesn't mean that they're lazy or unmotivated. Some of the most important figures in the last century never finished college.
Wait.
Success is determined by the...
Hold on a second. I want to fact check this guy. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, he did go to college. Oh, so he went to college, but he dropped out. He never had a degree. So I was partially wrong. My bad, guys. How about... No. Okay, so none of them actually did have college degrees, but they did go for like a little bit, but that's to be discounted at this point, to be honest. The thing is, also, if you make something out of college, there's this little kind of intellectual property claim that they have. The reason why Bill Gates dropped out of college was because he was making a lot of his material on a computer at the college, contrary to whatever you believe in about Bill Gates. But the thing is, if he still was in college and he released that and became successful, college could have had claim on that, because copyright is a bitch, fellas. Intellectual property is a bitch.
The person, not the college degree.
Oh, by the way, you should subscribe so that way I can get YouTube Premium, and therefore we can make good reactions without having to skip ads and stuff.
In this video, we've talked about why college is a scam. Now, let's go through some actual reasons to go to college. Because, plot twist, there are a few valid reasons to go to college.
I probably already mentioned them, but let's hear.
Between legit reasons and BS reasons to go to college. Here we go.
The BS reason is to make money.
If you want to be a brain surgeon, you gotta go to college.
Yep.
Not all STEM jobs require a college education, but a lot of them do. So this is a valid reason to go to college. Next, for connections. If your career absolutely depends on connections, then yeah.
Hey, you don't need to go to college for connections. It's a good place to find connections, by the way. But you can find connections at clubs. You can find connections at, well, basically just clubs. Sports clubs. Social clubs. Clubs of your interests, especially. That's where you want to get them if you want to find people that are related to your passions. Business clubs. Even seminars. Seminars are a great place. It's a great place to find connections. Trust me, I've been to a few. They're great.
This is a good reason to go to college. And lastly, if you have financial aid or a scholarship to cover your college tuition. These are the only cases when it's actually reasonable to go to college. Anything else is a scam. The biggest piece of advice...
Even the valid reasons, like I guess the only first one's the true valid reason, but the other ones are just easily replaceable.
That needs to be drilled into every young student is that they need to know why they're going to college. They need to know what career they want to pursue before enrolling. Most people who enter college have no idea what they want to do with their lives. And what ends up happening is that after these people graduate, they're either forced into a career that they hate, or they decide to pursue an entirely different career.
And guess what? They wanted to be a content creator all along, and they didn't use that time. And then they have to start from scratch. And then they'll have to post brain rot. And they'll get a short-lived career. But hopefully with that money, they can make a long-lived career and become a very popular internet media personality. Yeah, you had time to do this. Don't say you didn't have time. I had a lot of time. That's the most valuable resource everybody has. If you don't have money, you have time. If you have a cell phone and you have time, go at it, buddy. I started out with a cell phone, by the way. It wasn't an Apple. It wasn't an iPhone, by the way. It was a $200 Samsung or OnePlus. I still have it, by the way. It's an Android, a $200 Android.
Means everything they learn
Not $1,000, $200. Bad camera.
Students are told that they'll find themselves in college. That's a bunch of BS. The only
You have to
thing
find
you'll
yourself
about
before you
in
pursue
college
that.
is that you love drinking and you hate your college classes. College is not a place to find yourself. College is a place to push forward your career. If you don't know what
Yes.
career you absolutely know you want to pursue, don't go to college. Take a gap year, or take several gap years. During those years, stay productive and find work. Whether it be working at a restaurant, starting a business, or learning new skills, just keep yourself busy.
Man, I hope I don't get
If you have a
copyrighted for this
resume
music.
full of real work experience, that resume is more meaningful and beneficial than a
Yes.
college degree. Do not go to
You could spend your time actually volunteering or being an intern, and that's more valuable than your college experience.
college until you absolutely know what career you want. It'll save you from the immense regret of losing time and money that you'll never get back.
Anyways, that was a great video, by the way. Humongous shout out to Dumanity. Please sub to this guy. He's great. So, yeah, that was the video. Please regard everything I said in this video and everything he said in this video. Don't just accept it. Don't just believe in it. My best advice to you, just please do your research. Stay smart. Stay rational out there. And I'll see you all in the next time.